shut the whole block down. Here comes trouble, homie. I'ma tell you how the king like to ride, homeboy. And my top, you see me ride 24. Hey, holla at that like you're getting wood. And your top of that back. If you're real sick, hey, yo, what the bitch.
If you are a Punisher fan, you are going to enjoy this episode. Heads up, there will be spoilers. We will be going over Punisher One Last Kill. This is the I Snuck In Here podcast, and this is Enough Said edition. And me and my partner, some call me Quinn, we are about to dive in on the good, the bad, somewhat the ugly of this Punisher special that was recently debuted on Disney Plus. It's been some mixed reviews going around about it, but we're gonna dive into all of that. So, without further ado, where is the man of the hour?
Hey man, I thought you was introducing John Bernthal or something, but I guess you're talking to me. Hey, what's up, my boy? What's going on?
Oh man, just ready to dive into this one. This is one of those projects that I believe you and I could be out of context, but I think we both were expecting certain things with this. And I'm glad we didn't talk about any of this ahead of time.
Yeah.
So everything that we about to discuss is straight from the hip, straight from the from the holster.
Yep.
And I think we will share a lot of sentiments on Punisher One Last Kill currently on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. And like you said, this is us. We haven't talked about this at all. We both watched it. We haven't talked about it. I have a mixed bag of feelings on it. I will say first off, overall, without going into the details before spoilers, I will say overall I did enjoy it. So I didn't hate it. But there's some things we'll go into on it. I'll give it on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's both give it a scale of 1 to 10 first. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7, right at a 7. I almost will score it lower, but I give it a 7. But I'm not giving it a 7 because I didn't like it. But we'll explain more why I only give it a 7.
Okay. I was around those numbers. You know what? I don't want to be critical. I'm gonna say like a 6.5.
Okay. Hey, no, that's fair. I was teetering on doing that. But before we go into One Last Kill, let's previously on Daredevil Born Again. Where we left the Punisher Frank Castle at there. So last time we saw this man, he was breaking out of Fist's little entrapment camp that he had lured the security guard to him and was able to escape. That was the last time that we saw Frank Castle. Spoiler alert for Daredevil season 2. If you haven't seen it, he is not in it, which to me was a shocker. I was like, I thought he was going to show up at least once. I didn't expect him to be in it a lot, but for how they left it, I thought he was going to show up at least one time. What are your thoughts?
I was disappointed that he wasn't in season 2, and now knowing it was a scheduling conflict because he was filming Spider-Man Brand New Day and Punisher One Last Kill during the same time they were filming season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. For some reason, though, it just seems like a Daredevil season is not complete if you don't have the Punisher and now even Bullseye in it, right? These characters have become such intricate characters within this series. It's almost as if like what's his name? The actor that played Daredevil,
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. It's like Charlie Cox is 1A star and 2A star is John Bernthal when it comes to the whole,
Right.
Daredevil umbrella of all the seasons. Based off how Frank escaped from that internment camp at the end of season 1, I'm thinking that the whole one last kill thing was gonna have something to do with going after the vigilante task force.
I thought it was going to be the Vigilante Task Force too. I'm like, okay, they're using his logo, so that's a no. Like,
Yeah.
so that's one disappointing part I had, because I feel like you just walking around willy nilly using the Punisher's logo. There's got to be some retribution to that. Like, you just don't get to walk around doing that. And they tried to frame you, make it seem like you was the one out there, killing vigilantes. So I was disappointed in that. But let's move on. Let's move on to One Last Kill and what it was actually about. So Disney plus Marvel, they announced that they were doing the Punisher One Last Kill. They was saying that it was a one-off. So you think it's One Last Kill? So you thinking it's John Bernthal's last hurrah to play this role for it. There wasn't too much information given out when they announced it. That's all they announced. It was going to be One Last Kill, and that John Bernthal had helped. I know he helped write it. Did he direct it too, or did he just write it?
He received writing and executive producer credit.
Okay, yeah. So we knew that he was part of it, as far as like he was really engaged in this project. Now I love John Bernthal, man. Like I look, since he was Shane on Walking Dead, like everything this man is in, The Wolf of Wall Street, like this is just a great actor to me. Like I really feel like his emotions are like real when he's acting.
Is it safe to say that he's one of those actors that we place like Denzel Washington, where when we're watching the film, we're not watching the character, we're watching the actual actor? Like,
yeah, you were watching that actor.
I think that he's now in that.
It's funny because you say that, because they did a montage, because Denzel Washington always says in his movie, I can guarantee. In all his movies, he says, I can guarantee. YouTube it after we're done. He'll say, I can guarantee. And now they did a montage of John Bernthal. Now that's something that he adds into his script. It's not in the script. He just throws it in. It's his thing. So John Bernthal has one now. He says, let me tell you something. So like in everything he says, let me tell you something, or something of that nature. So if you YouTube John Bernthal's let me tell you something, you'll see a whole montage of it. Clip that.
I know. I'm gonna tell you one thing that just stood out about this whole project, though.
Mm-hmm.
After watching it and knowing how involved he was in the project, it's almost as if like he wanted his Stanley Kubrick, A Clockwork Orange, or 2001 Odyssey. He wanted one of those pieces from his mind to be looked at in this way. And I think we were on the right path with the project. I just felt like it was missing some key things, which would have gave it a score of 8 to 10 in a lot of people's eyes.
All right, so let's dive into the premise of the show. All right, spoilers right now. So essentially, what happens is Frank Castle, the Punisher, his mission is over with. They start off showing that he killed the crime family, the rest of the crime family, the Nucci family. He's killed all the members of the Nucci family, and those were the last people that had anything to do with the killing of his family. So now he doesn't know what to do with himself. He's a Marine with no mission. So his PTSD is really kicking in. He's seeing hallucinations, ghosts of his former Marines, of his children, of his not ex-wife, it's his wife. And he's really like almost like psychotic, honestly. He's walking down the streets of, I don't know where they were in New York, but literally the worst part of New York, I guess you can possibly be. Violence is happening around him and he doesn't care. And he's to the point where he's ready to check out. Until, let's give the whole synopsis. Until Ma Nucci, the head of the crime family who he forgot to kill, comes out of nowhere and says pretty much, hey, I know you're here. You forgot about me. And I've set a hit that's going to happen at 6:48 or something.
Yeah.
6:48 today, and everybody's coming for you. That's the premise of it, of this show. What irked me when I first turned it on is that it's 44 minutes of actual footage.
Thank you.
And I'm like, if this is a one-off, you got to give me 2 hours. If this is a one-off and it's going to be done, you have to give me 2 hours. 44 minutes is not enough to tell this story. And when it was done, I felt it was unfinished. Okay, you got it. You take it from there.
No, bro. You bullseye for the rest of this episode. Because that was 100% spot on. It wasn't enough. It wasn't long enough. I had an issue with the timeline. I don't know where are we in the timeline of Daredevil Born Again season 1, season 2. Is this right before Avengers Secret Wars? Is this right before he decides to now be a crime fighter from like we saw in the trailer of Spider-Man Brand New Day? That was the first issue I had. I don't know where exactly does this fit in the timeline of the MCU, right? So that's one. 2, I understand the whole PTSD thing, and like, you know, the illusions and stuff like that. But I just felt like we've seen that story in season 2 of the Netflix Daredevil. We've seen it in season 1 of Punisher. We saw it in season 2 of Punisher on Netflix. So that was a little bit redundant. And then we had Ma Nucci, my girl from Who's the Boss, right? The actress from Who's the Boss played the mob mother, the last one alive. After he went on this amazing John Wick style killing spree, he looks at her in the car and she's with her driver, and like they give each other this look, and it's like, does it mean it's over? Does it mean, I'm going to get you later, Frank? I don't know. I don't know what, like, I just felt the action was an appetizer when I thought we were about to get like a full 3-course meal.
Yeah, I don't want to get to her. I want to dive into Ma Nucci. I want to dive into Ma Nucci because of a couple things. But before we do that, let me do one thing first. I want to go through, because you kind of just talked about it. So we see him and he's going through like mad PTSD when we first meet him. And I kind of feel you on what you were saying, that like we've seen him go through PTSD already. Now, we've never seen him go through this extreme. I think it was a little bit more extreme, but we've seen him go through PTSD in it. And again, like I said, I really rock with Jon Bernthal. Like, I believed him when he had it. He says something, and I'm gonna go a little. I'm gonna talk about something I went through real quick. It's in and out, but you know, people go through some bouts of depression every now and then, right? And I remember he said something when he was sitting at the cemetery. He just says, when he was about to do his thing, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to mess up our YouTube algorithm.
Okay.
But when he's about to go to the upper room, he says, I'm tired. I'm tired.
Mm.
And I've said those words before. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I know exactly what this man is like. I felt him saying that, like, I'm tired. And like, he just said it with so much emotion and passion. I was like, bro, I'm like, this dude's shooting for an Emmy with his performance on Frank Castle. He's shooting for it. Like he's really going through it. When he cut the Marine tattoo with the knife, like I'm like, golly.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then the hallucinations is like, is he seeing? I knew the Marines in the room weren't there, but what's his best friend's name?
Wait, the black guy?
Black guy.
Not Carl.
It's not Carl. It starts with a C though, but whatever his name, I gotta figure that out. Anyways, there's that one scene where he meets him in the street, and I'm like, oh, he's there. He finally showed up, but then he starts talking like, "What? You ain't got a mission anymore, Marine." I was like, oh, he's hallucinating again. Like he's not there. And then when he saw Karen, and he was like, "Are you here? Like, are you here?" When he's hugging her, he's like, "Are you here?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm here." And I was like, "Oh, she's there." And then he said, "I'm always here." I'm like, "Oh, she's not there. She's not there."
Can I add something right there?
Yeah.
I know this is kind of like sideline, but do we believe that Miss Karen Page? Do we believe that Daredevil is just the rebound, but she really wants to be with Mr. Castle?
I hate that she's with Daredevil and not with Frank Castle. Her and Frank Castle's relationship flows so much better. I believe it's so much more than her and Charlie Cox. I think that feels so forced to me, making them in love. Charlie Cox, Daredevil, has had a new love interest in every season that he's had Daredevil. He had Rosario Dawson the first season. He had Elektra the second season. Karen came, I guess, the third season a little bit.
Yeah,
right.
And then the psychiatrist lady.
The psychiatrist in season one.
Yeah.
It feels so forced that they making them like madly in love. I'm like, come on, man. It's not necessary.
They going to season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. There was a scene that they briefly touched on that topic when Karen was finally like, "Oh, I get why Frank does what he does," and you saw that friction between her and Matt when she was saying, you could end all of this if you just do what needs to be done. And he said something along the lines of, "That's not you talking. That's Castle talking." And she's like, "Well, maybe he's right." And right then and there, as a man, he knew, oh, my girl really rock with that dude. Go ahead, bro.
Another point, when she's in jail, and the psychiatrist chick is interrogating her, and she's like a stone. I'm cool until she brings up Frank Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Castle is what like takes her out of her mode. That is her person. Like, I don't know why they trying to make it seem like Daredevil is her person. Like, I just don't get it.
I think they're going in that route because Frank, even though Karen Page is a safe space for him, he is not going to allow himself to be in love with her, because the fear of losing someone that he's in love with again is probably too much. Like, it won't, how you brought up the part that he said, like, "I'm tired." If something happened to Karen Page, he wouldn't have any type of border anymore. He's stepping fully out. I wish she was actually in this project, One Last Kill. It just felt like, man, it felt like this. It felt like he wanted to go in one direction, and Disney said, hey, you're trying to do something with $100, but
Right.
we're only giving you $38.
We're gonna give you $38.50. Now go
Yeah,
do what you
for
want to do.
you being loyal and leaving your schedule open over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We're going to give you this one. This is that hey, attaboy, good job. You're a team
Yeah.
player. And it just felt like, it just wasn't complete. And I read an article on Deadline. Sorry. I read an article on Deadline last night, and Jon Bernthal stated, the only way he can see himself continuing on doing anything with the Punisher is if he is allowed to have some form of creative control. He says, I
Yeah.
cannot attach myself to Frank Castle if I am not allowed to give my own creative input. And I think that is a very, very reasonable thing, being that when we think of the Punisher, we think of him, because prior to him, when I thought of the Punisher, I either thought of one or two things: the Punisher from Spider-Man the animated series, or I thought of Dolph Lundgren. Right?
You
That
don't
was
think
it.
of Jane? What's his name?
Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. Y'all like that one?
No, dude, because he was like a gigolo, like flinging his thing around in that one TV show. I forgot what it was called.
It was Hung. It was called Hung, but Hung,
okay, right.
Hung came later though.
Right, but it's like it's when I think of it, like, it already infected my mind. And we had a good Punisher film in 2008, Punisher Warzone. That was a great film, but it was slept on because Lionsgate did not want to pay to promote that film in theaters nationwide. So it got a cult following in the early days of on-demand film and the DVDs. But Jon Bernthal is the Punisher. Denzel Washington is Malcolm X, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything in it. Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. Certain people were just born to play certain roles.
Yeah.
Was this something that fans needed? No. I don't believe this is something that fans needed, being that it wasn't complete. This was like a rough draft. I would have rather they saw how his reception in Brand New Day was, and then we got one last kill as sort of like a precursor to Brand New Day. Like, we find out, hey, you know what was he doing before him and Spider-Man got to start conversing with each other in the streets of New York City? I would have rather that, because I think he would have had more leverage in terms of doing it a certain way. But you're in the business. You know how when it comes to the way Hollywood do things, they don't really know what they're doing.
I feel that so we are going to see, and we'll talk about that, but we are going to see the Punisher in Brand New Day. So he's going to be making his first movie appearance. In this, which is dope. But honestly, if Jon Bernthal does want creative control of the character, I feel like the Punisher is one character that I mean, after the Spider-Man movie is done, this is one character that I don't need in the movies. This is one that you can give him a gritty TV show. Like, if you told me that One Last Kill was a prelude to Punisher season 3 that'll be coming next year or something, I'll be like, oh, bet. Okay, so we're gonna talk more about this story, down the road, and I'll be all for that. I'll be like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Then I wouldn't be mad at it only being 44 minutes. So I'm like, oh, I'm not even tripping, because I know I'm gonna get the rest of the meat and potatoes later on. But it's just a prelude to get him, for us to understand why he's in Spider-Man with it. So he goes and at the end of this one-off, he's accepted that he's the Punisher. He's accepted that he's the actual Punisher. He's that dude now. and it's not a question of, do I want to do this or not. He's like, no, I'm the Punisher, and I'm going to punish anybody doing bad shit. And I was like, okay, I think that's the first. Now I'll give him that. That's the first time we saw him like, oh no, I'm out in these streets, like I'm walking and I'm punishing. And I was rocking with that. I was like, okay, cool. Now that makes sense on why he's riding around in his custom Punisher truck in Spider-Man, because I'm like, you had to explain how we go from Netflix Frank Castle to him having a Punisher mobile and driving around the streets in broad daylight.
Because I agree with you, we don't need a Punisher live action movie, right? We don't need that in the theater, right? Where do you think in the future, the MCU, all in all, what do you think Frank Castle is going to fit into? Like, are we going to see him in Secret Wars? Are we going to see him? Oh, excuse me. Are we going to see him in Doomsday? Are we going to see?
No.
Is he going to be somewhere around?
I think we might see him in Secret War. I think Secret War might be the big everybody and their mama, episode. But I don't think we're going to see him in Doomsday. That's just I don't think there's any room. I know they're still sneaking in characters that we don't know about. Like, I wish they wouldn't have told us Captain America was in it, but they can't help themselves. Like, they can't help themselves. But no, I don't think we're going to see him until maybe Doomsday. I think we'll get maybe the Defenders and Doomsday in Secret War. But since that season 3 isn't coming out of Daredevil until next year, they're not going to introduce those characters until they come out in Daredevil.
So we're getting Doomsday before the new season of Born Again, correct?
Correct.
So do we know in the timeline, do we know if Matt Murdock is still going to be in? No. Brand New Day comes out
Brand New Day is when I feel we will understand the assignment of it. And you asked where was the One Last Kill on the timeline? If you go on Disney Plus, it has this the most recent. It's the most recent part of the timeline. So it's after season 2 of Born Again. Born Again.
Are there no vigilantes? Is there no one around to go to Little Italy in New York City to help with this uptick of crime? Like, it just seemed like some Mad Max or the Warriors type shit.
Nobody gives a shit about that neighborhood.
None.
Even the heroes won't go there. Even the heroes will not go to that part of town, and that's crazy. That is super crazy. Go ahead.
Like, just on my end, so I could stop being long-winded on this.
No, you good.
What would you have wanted if you had 3 choices? You get 3 picks. What 3 things would you have wanted to see in One Last Kill to where you would have given it a higher grade?
Say that one more time.
3 things. You are an executive producer and you say, you know what? We need to do some reshoots. What 3 things is Quinn going to put into this project to where he says, okay, this isn't a 7 anymore. This is an 8.5 or a 9.
I'm gonna tell you. Well, we talked about it. So now let me dive into it. Manucci. I'm telling you, if for the 5 minutes of screen time that woman had, give her the quickest Emmy. Give her the quickest Emmy possible. Like, I thought Manucci, played by Judith Light. And if you don't know who Judith Light is, let me enlighten you. Angela from Who's the Boss, bro. It's Angela from Who's the Boss. At first, when I saw her, I was like, man, she looks familiar. Like, what do I know this woman from? And I was like, oh, that's Angela from Who's the Boss. And she came up in her wheelchair. And I don't know why I can't pull it right now. Why I can't pull this damn. I think I already did it. That's why.
Is she really in the chair?
What? In real life?
Yeah, like or was that just
No,
method acting?
That's just method acting. Not
Oh,
in real life, no.
Okay.
But she pulled up with a little bodyguard and then she stood up, like, and she got in Frank's face and she just, man, this the little monologue she gave Frank Castle. I was like, this, I said, Judith is acting right now. And if you do you know this character? So you brought it up. You said Warzone.
Yeah.
So my Nucci is from that comic. And they couldn't do what they did in the comic to her. I mean, because they probably the budget on it, but pretty much Frank kills her family, but she forgets about him. So she sends the Russian, who's in the Thomas Jane Punisher, sends the Russian after him, and he ends up killing the Russian. And she sends more people. She sends everybody to him, and they chase him into the Central Park Zoo. And Frank opens the polar bear cages, and the polar bears rip scalp her pretty much. That's why her face looks like that in the picture. They scalp her and they eat her limbs off. So she's just out here still menacing in her wheelchair, but she has no limbs. She's got no arms, no legs, and she's still getting that old boy. That he has to come to her mansion. He sets it on fire. He's still coming at him. She's crawling somehow towards him. Frank Castle drop kicks her back into the damn fire. That's how she dies. It's a crazy ass comic. It's a crazy ass comic. Like, it really is. But like, when they said when they announced that they had hired her to be Manucci, I was like, oh, they're about to really go in. This is a dope ass storyline. And I was like, what are they going to do with it? But then they left it with her driving away in a car, and that's it. I'm like, oh, you wasted a whole fucking. That's why I want another season. Like, if you give me a season of The Punisher based on this, and I'm with you.
Could that still be in the cards?
It could be.
Okay.
It could be. They have to. They have to finish the story, man. That's why I have it at a low 7, because you didn't give me a full story.
Now that's one of the items or matters. What are the other two?
That's one. All right. So you got to give me that. I love the violence in it, but I felt like it was John Wick wearing a Punisher. It was John Wick 3 or 4, whatever the last John Wick was, and in Little Italy. And it was just, I'm like, I've seen this before. It was good, but I'm an action person, but I'm more of a story person first. I need you to give me a story and then just say, okay, but then I got some good action scenes in it. It was just, it started off slow. I think it was probably 10, 15 minutes of the PTSD thing. And then after that, it was just stabbing, kicking, stabbing, and that was it. And also, where everybody get all these axes from? Did you count how many axes was in this movie, man? Like, people just walk around with axes.
You know what? I can't believe I'm just thinking about this right now. He walking around the street, and it was even on the news that Frank Castle is out walking around.
Yeah.
He going to go back coffee.
I mean, but think about it. And look at that neighborhood. They was running the police out of that neighborhood. So if you gonna hide in plain sight anywhere, that particular part of town is where I would do it. Cause shit, the police ain't checking on us.
Okay.
They're not checking on us. And then they had old boy from The Wire, Bubs from The
Bubbles.
Wire. And I'm like, damn, that's it. That's all you're gonna use him is for a little shop owner, and then it's an unfinished story. That's my last thing. So they wasted Manucci. It was too John Wickish with not enough story, and they wasted. Yeah, they wasted the story. That's my issues with it.
You brought up the John Wick thing, and it's like they killed that old Marine. They killed his dog. So when they did that, I'm like, okay, man, like you have to know people are going to say that this reminds them of John Wick. Like
John Wick. Yep, the dog.
like I know
you know what?
his dog, but you know.
Yep. I didn't actually put it together until you just said it. And I'm like, damn, yep. John Wick, and then you killed the whole damn dog.
So is it worth watching? Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. Could it have been better? Absolutely. Did we need this right now? No, not in my opinion. We didn't need it right now. Do we need more Punisher in the MCU? Yeah, but as you stated, we need him in micro doses. We don't need him oversaturated.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to bridge how we had to get from him being in that cage in Daredevil to now he's in Spider-Man. So they had to give us something to say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Now, to people that don't watch the TV shows, which is a lot of people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The Punisher is just in the Spider-Man movie. It is what it is. Who cares? But for the people that are watching the TV shows, this is just a little nugget. It was like, okay, look, now you know why the Punisher's there and he's suited up. My last question is, though, before we wrap, who's out here giving Frank Castle fades, though? Because he's like, hey, I gotta go punish, man. Fade me up. Like, dude was crispy. Dude was crispy.
He had the John B. Dominican Day fade. I'm talking about my boy came out. He came out like he was fresh from getting a divorce and back on the scene looking for a young
back
joint.
on the scene, bro. He's back on the scene. He's like, I gotta go punish some bitches. Like, fade me up. Fade me up.
And he had the Beijing and the beard because you know that was a little bit too black. It was like jet black.
Bro,
that was jet black.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was like, who out here fading the Punisher up? Like, that's shit that you don't think about because we ain't supposed to think about it. Just whatever. Like how superheroes get all this money. I mean, MCU made it pretty easy because they just put it. Tony Stark bought everything for everybody. But like something I be thinking about shit like that. I was like, how you get all this shit and all these weapons and all this armor? And like, where do you get it from? And one more last thing. Shout out to the motherfucking video game behind you playing nothing but the Punisher. I need that cabinet. I need to, when we get offline, I need to know where you got that cabinet from, and I need it. Does that have multiple games in it?
Yes.
Yeah, I need that. I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, and this game, it came out in the late 80s, early 90s, but I would say that this game was definitely ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And it's fun as hell to play because you could be the Punisher or Nick Fury.
Or Nick Fury.
Yeah, ain't nothing greater than picking somebody up, shooting them in the face, and then one of the hookers running after you, and then you can shoot her in the leg, and then you can go pick up a turkey and get a full life. I love playing this game.
That's dope, man. Hey, well, we coming to the end. What's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts is for us to get the season 2 finale of Born Again and Punisher One Last Kill, for us to get both of those within a 7-day time frame, it was a good sign that the MCU is starting to get back on track. I would say that this is one of their better projects in the last couple of years. But with all things, when the first time you do it, you may not get it correct, and you can look at what you need to fix the next time. And for it to be a rated R project and Disney Plus still giving it the green light, I give them major kudos and respect, because a lot of people thought that Disney would not convert over to rated R property. So that alone makes me say, yeah, if you got time to watch it, definitely give it a watch.
Give it a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll wrap it up. Yeah, I think ever since Disney said they was cutting out some of the fat, not a whole bunch of these TV shows everywhere left and right. Like, please don't ever give me anything like She-Hulk again. And I'm pissed off because I love She-Hulk, but I like that monstrosity of a show. Don't give me any of that like BS. People aren't watching the TV shows and then going to the movies to see the TV show. People, like, you were losing a lot of viewers trying to force people to watch TV shows. So, but I do like this. This is just something that, like I said, bridges the gap. Like, it just bridges the gap. And if you want to watch it, you can, but you don't have to. It's not a necessity to go watch Spider-Man. So I think things like that are important. So this is definitely getting on track with that. But give me more Punisher, man. Give me more Punisher. Let Jon Bernthal do his thing. I think he has a good grasp on the character. And that's it, man. Hey, we actually went 40 minutes on this. I thought it was only gonna be like 25, but we went 40.
And we had to cover a few more things. Just a heads up. There's two episodes that everyone needs to be on the lookout for that we're doing. One is, what famous person, either alive or dead, deserves their own biopic film?
Yes.
This is something that Quinn asked me the other day when we were talking about the Michael film. And I think it's going to be a surprising list. So, everybody that's watching this, please chime in, leave comments in terms of who you think should get their own biopic film. And we're going to go over some of those picks along with picks that we chose. And the second thing is, we're going to be reviewing the new Mortal Kombat 2 film. And I was late to the party. That's the reason why we haven't turned in our review yet. But that will be dropping sometime next week.
Bet them up. Hey, I'll leave it at that. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in to the Nuff Said, the Punisher One Last Kill edition of the I Snuck in Here podcast. We thank y'all for sneaking in. And when you sneak out, don't get caught by the cops. Peace.